All right, Mike, we might as well get started. I'll keep letting them in if they trickle in later.
All right, sounds good. And I didn't say this last time, John, but if you see anybody's hand go up, certainly I may not be paying attention to that. You can interrupt me, and certainly anybody, you're welcome to just interject a question. Just turn your mic on and ask. I'll do the best I can, and if I can't answer it, I'll just have you email it to me so I can get you an answer back then. But good afternoon. Thanks for making time for us today. I will try and keep this brief. I know for a lot of you have a level of familiarity with it already. And like I said, you can ask questions at any time. I don't know. I know. Oops. There we go. So I'm the state grants manager, program manager. Pam or Denise, are you on by chance? I didn't get a chance to see the attendance list, but we may have two guests here from FEMA Go, Pam Weaver and Denise French. So if they have questions that are more specific to them, hopefully if they're here, they'll be able to answer it. And again, if they're not, and you have questions that I can't answer, we'll get them emailed to me and I can get your response back then. So as many of you already know, the purpose of this grant is through the U.S. Fire Administration, National Fire Academy, is offered through the Federal Fire Prevention and Control Act of 1974. The grant was written into this piece of legislation to provide direct delivery of courses in the states and distribute manuals, guides, and other course materials, and allow states to use the money to supplement the training that they're already doing. The objectives, provide direct training assistance to the states to support in the marketing administrative costs, to promote the professional development of the fire and emergency services response community, and to support the state and local training organizations in fulfilling their obligations to career volunteer fire and emergency services. As many of you know, the details, it's a $20,000 amount. We love it when you guys take full advantage of that 20,000, not leaving any money on the table. It's there for you to use, and we want you to get the most out of it. If you do, like sometimes I know the work plans, budget plans can include amounts over 20,000. Obviously, don't put that down on the application itself. We only pay up to the $20,000 amount, no overages. It's okay if it's on your documentation, long as it states on the documentation that any amount over 20,000 is the responsibility of the state and not FEMA, USFA, or NFA to pay it. Eligible applicants, obviously one per state. So this is the state fire training systems as designated by the state legislation or governor's declaration. Only one award is made to each state, and each state will have their own unique identity identifier, UEI number. In previous years, so my first year managing the grant, we had 36 participants. Last year, dropped down to 32. This year, we're hoping that we can gain, get more money out there so that more training is happening. So we hope that there's states on here that have not participated before and are considering doing it this year. Eligible use of funds, it's relatively straightforward, but delivery of NFA state and local partner courses. So these are the O courses, the Y courses, the N courses. So the state and local partnered sponsored fire and training courses at the NFA, the state courses approved by the NFA, and then the enfranchised courses. I did just send John a list. I know this question came up on Tuesday. A list provided to me from Erickson, Lori Welsh here, which I think you guys all know, of the Y courses and the current O courses. Again, if you don't see a Y course for your state on the list, it is kind of what I call like a living document, like it's updated as new courses are added to it. But if you do not see a course on there that you thought should be on there, reach out directly to Eric. You can CC me if you like. And he should be able to assist in getting that added to it, or assist you in the process to get that approved and added to the list. Ineligible use, and this is all laid out in the notice of funding opportunity, or the NOFO. So the grant funds cannot be used for matching funds for other federal grants and cooperative agreements, lobbying, intervention or federal regulatory or adjudicatory proceedings. Construction is not allowed. And then again, other things are laid out in the NOFO, but for many of you that have done this before, you kind of know what that is already. You can't buy electronic equipment or have contracts that would last beyond the fiscal year for the grant. But again, refer to the NOFO. Make sure you understand what the limitations are. Timeline for the award. So it opened up on July 1st. We were happy to get it out the gate a little earlier this year. I think last year we didn't get it out till September, and we only gave 15 days for the application process because we were running out of time. But we do have the full 30 days that we normally have open. So, well, 30, 31. So July 31st, the application closes. So kind of the close of the business day on the 31st, so at 5 o'clock Eastern time, it's closed, and there's no grace period. So once that clock ticks, it's done. When there's no other opportunity to get it in. We will start reviewing the grants here through the month so that we have a chance to give you some feedback if we're missing documentation or something needs to be changed on it to make you eligible or make your work plan eligible for the grant. So that we will get that information back to you so you have time to make the changes. But we will approve them by August 28th. We're hoping to actually do that a lot sooner so that you are aware of it and you can start making your plans. And then the money would, if you are approved, begin to be able to be spent on October 1st, which is the beginning of the government's fiscal year. So it should be available at that time. Application process, again, I think for those that have been through this before, it's not changed since last year, but applications are submitted through the FEMA Go site. You can view it on grants.gov. Applicants must ensure their organization is registered with the system for award management, or have a SAM number, SAM account, and has that UEI number I referred to earlier, as well as a login with login.gov. The application process does involve confirming eligibility, gathering required, which we do through the UEI number, gathering required information, completing application sections in FEMA Go, and uploading the supporting documents like the program narrative, budget narrative, detailed budget breakdown, and work plan, which again is very standard from or very similar to what we had last year. And again, the period is that the application is open is July 1st to July 31st. Oops. All right. So as, again, many of you know that if you've had the grant before, we require quarterly reporting, both on the financial reporting and the program performance. So it's broken into quarters, and you have a 30-day window usually to turn that in. FEMA Go, I believe, prompts you. You'll get notifications that a documentation is required, and just submit that. I do ask that when you're submitting for the performance progress report, the PPR, you're welcome to submit any document that's your internal documents for your own tracking. But if you can add this to it, this helps me be able to document the information that the data points that we try and collect on our end. So it's just a short little form, just the highlighted areas need filled out. There is a bottom section, but there's not really anything additional on that. But mostly looking at what was the course code, and then the courses that you taught, how many students per course, so that we can kind of track that internally. Reimbursement. So the reimbursements kind of come through me at this point, which is new this current grant cycle. Before they'd gone directly up to the FEMA Go. But I need to please make sure you're submitting kind of a detailed breakdown where the monies were spent, so that I can see that and make a quick decision on the reimbursement payment. It's only happened a couple times through the grant cycle where I've got to kind of go back and ask for a few more details so that I can see actually and support and approve that reimbursement. I've got okay, so this is on here, but it should be over here. So amendments, when requesting an amendment, please provide supporting details and documents to help me justify it. it's usually most of the time amendments are just to extend the POP, the period of performance. And that's usually for various reasons. And I know last year with shutdowns that it created, we'll call them hiccups with your planning. So just make sure you include that kind of information so it's easier for me to justify the amendment further up the chain. Closeout reporting, please remember you have 120 days from the end of the POP. So the period of performance ends September 30th, and then you have 120 days, which by my counts, January 27th, to have submitted all documents, all reimbursements, all final FFR, PPRs, and so that you can get reimbursement. If you don't, once that window closes, it's closed. So if you have payments that you had not submitted, we are unable to have them be reimbursed. So please make sure you get that in. It's 120 days. I know through staff changes and other things that that can be challenging sometimes to keep that timeline. But yeah, reach out if you're having issues. But once that window is closed, there's not anything. I can't give you an amendment because the window is closed. I can't reimburse any money because the window is closed. So that ends the kind of the presentation on the grant. Certainly, I didn't hear any questions, but if you have any questions, you can turn your mic on. Please ask. I'll do the best I can.
Questions for Mike? It's a quiet group today, Mike.
Yeah, I got scared that maybe my mic hadn't been on the whole time
No,
there.
you're good. Just
Look,
one question I had, Mike. You talked about getting an extension, apply for an extension. Does that change the final date for requesting the funds, the close of the
yeah,
POP?
so if I extended your POP by 30 days, you would have 120 days from that new time.
Okay.
So it's always 120 days from the end of the POP.
Questions for Mike?
If you do have questions after this presentation is done, again, you're welcome to email me. I'll do the best I can. I will warn you, I'm leaving for vacation tomorrow, so there will be a delay in getting a response back to you. But I'll be happy to do the best I can to respond to your questions as quick as I can.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Since we're not seeing anybody light up here looking to ask questions, I will send out the list of the courses that are currently approved. After the meeting, I'll also send out the links to the YouTube channel so that you can see the recordings or share them with others in your organization. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Mike is pretty quick at replying to emails. Always appreciated. But I think we'll give you a little grace next week on your vacation.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, if John, if you can wait on that email, let me send you a blank copy of that PPR form also, and that way you can just send one email out with all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll do that as soon as the meeting ends here.
Last call for questions. All right. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate it. Hopefully we got some of the information out that you need to make sure that we use the entire allotment and the grant. The grants used to be a bit higher, and we lost a bit of funding on those every year because we weren't using it. So I would highly encourage every agency to fully utilize their $20,000 so that we don't get a reduction again in the future. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.